right, y'all. Happy pre-St. Patrick's Day weekend, right? We're celebrating a little early here.
It's like Mardi Gras for us.
It's Mardi Gras.
It's not just a day.
Little bit of some fun happening here at Brennan's of Houston. It's not St. Patrick's Day yet, but y'all have some fun stuff going on this weekend.
Aaron go bra. I mean, it is Brennan, right?
Yeah.
So our family, my grandparents were off the boat from Ireland.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I'm thinking Louisiana.
No.
Maybe some little East Coast.
Owen Edward Brennan and his bride Nellie Valentine Brennan off the boat from Ireland.
That's the name of your next restaurant.
We have
Nellie Valentine.
All of our cousins have threatened that as a name. It just hasn't happened. I don't know why, but it would make a hell of an Irish pub, right?
Y'all are Irish. I'm Irish too.
We are very County Brennan, right? I mean, it's a big thing. As my cousin Dickie likes to say, we're Irish immigrants who ended up with a French restaurant living the American dream.
Let's go, baby. Welcome to Houston.
Right.
All right. So lots of fun things going on here at Brennan starting today.
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all have a very special prix-fixe menu that is running through Tuesday. And not that many restaurants are having 4 whole days of St. Patrick's Day celebrations.
It is my wonderful, my mom and her brothers and sisters would haunt us if you didn't wear the green and didn't celebrate. And it's just growing up for us. It was, there's a great parade in New Orleans for St. Patrick's Day up and down Magazine Street in the Irish Channel, where my family is from. Where granddad and grandmom settled on 3rd Street in New Orleans, just a couple blocks off of Magazine, and raised their family in the Irish Channel of New Orleans. And so we're it's close to who we are.
And you just came back.
Yeah, back from Mardi Gras. I survived yet again.
You were Mardi Gras Alex.
Yep.
He's
survived.
Not Alex Brennan-Martin in Louisiana. He's Mardi Gras
Alex.
Yeah.
At least on the Sunday before Mardi Gras, that's when I ride in Bacchus.
And you get on the big float.
Yep.
Oh,
Started when I was 11 was the first time I rode. And as a page to Raymond Burr, the second year Bacchus rolled, and so it's just kind of it's in my uncles started Bacchus, and it's just a part of who we are.
I think that's something that everybody should do once in their life is get to New Orleans, get to Louisiana during Mardi Gras to see everything that you're talking about. And I want to just mention behind my shoulder, we're going to talk about this in a little bit. This is a great opportunity for diners in Houston. If you haven't been to Brennan's recently, y'all, this is all new. I mean, when you said y'all were renovating and moving the bar and renovating the courtyard, I did not realize how much of a renovation.
Yeah, it got a little out of hand.
But it's done.
Expanded. It's done, and we're having a lot of fun. And it's nice. People can drop in more casually and don't have to get dressed up or think ahead about making reservations. Just drop in, and and we have another beautiful day on the courtyard today. So
Well, we're going to show you guys that courtyard, and we're also going to talk about that photo behind me because that's an important one. But let's go right on over to the foodie cam because it's a celebratory weekend, y'all. St. Patrick's Day. What are we supposed to do on St. Patrick's Day weekend, Alex?
Let me think about that for a minute. Can you come up with
something good for us?
Sure. I don't know why that whiskey's all the way over there and not over here by me. But at any rate, no. Irish whiskey is obviously a big part of the day. Everybody thinks green beer, and I'm fine and dandy with the green beer, but for me, it's Irish whiskey, and we've got doing a flight of some really great ones. Jameson, so many people know Jameson. It is probably one of the oldest houses, one of the most well known, all the way through to a Silky, which has been brought back by it was a distillery that went out of business, has been brought back by another group, and it's really only been around since 2000. And so it's a wonderful flight, a Tullamore in there. So people always want to know what Irish whiskey, what the heck is the difference? So Irish whiskey is different in that It's made in Ireland.
Okay,
there you go.
Big difference.
Differentiates from American whiskeys.
Yep.
And then here, great, perfect time.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Never a bad time to go. But you'll notice the color of the Irish whiskeys is a little lighter. So it's made American whiskeys, corn, wheat, or rye, barley. So it starts off with a completely different grain. So barley, it's triple distilled, different than American whiskey. Some American whiskeys will, but usually 2 distillings for American whiskeys. And it's Irish whiskey, generally speaking, a little smoother, maybe a little sweeter, maybe some people say a little more approachable.
Why does the American whiskey not start with the barley? Is it cost or supply? Maybe barley doesn't grow great
Katie,
here?
like so many things in regional cuisine, it's what they had, right? I mean, the barley was what they were growing in America. It's corn or wheat.
Makes sense,
plentiful. Or rye, and so it's available, and that's my belief of where it starts. I think that's true of so many cuisines.
Sure.
As well.
Absolutely. So the barley is what gives it a little bit of a different taste.
It starts off a little bit. It starts off a little bit lighter because of the barley. It's triple distilled, so that'll take another level out. But it's this is the Jameson, and then to jump all the way over, this is the Silky that's just come back, and to taste those sort of side by side, I think is kind of fun. And this is the Tullamore, one of my favorites.
Very good, very yummy.
But
tasty.
You see, you get a little bit more of like fruit, and some people even say if you taste the Tullamore, some people even sort of taste apples, which is not something you get out of a bourbon. Right? And so it's a different whiskey experience.
Listen, y'all want to learn about some Irish dining? Come to Brennan's of Houston. Who would have known? Who would have thought it?
Irish drinking.
Listen, now I know this is my place for some real good Irish celebration because y'all aren't doing it for just one day. You got 4 whole days.
No, look, our family took St. Patrick's Day pretty seriously. So, and there are some legendary stories.
I want to hear those legendary stories. All right, let's look at the foodie cam first, and then I want a legendary St. Patrick's Day story. Okay. What are we looking at here, Alex?
Oh, this is a potato soup. Ireland. In the land of Ireland, they had a lot of potatoes, so potato soup. We take it a little bit further here. Leek, potato and leek is a classic combination, and
one of my favorites.
Crawfish season sneaks in, so we can't help ourselves. Sure. We add a little crawfish as garnish to it, but it's just an old recipe made a little bit more ours, a little bit more local. Yeah,
no, I love it. This is one of my favorite all-time combinations of taste in dishes. All right, tell me this funny St. Patrick's Day story. Because first of all, I just want to tell you that I think you're the first person I've met that's ever told me that St. Patrick's Day is a very serious occasion in their family.
Oh, it is. Yeah. I mean, look, the last name of Brennan, their parents came over on the boat. They lived in the Irish Channel of New Orleans, right? I mean, we take it seriously. And actually, so a lot of people may know there's a bar, pub, mostly known as a po' boy place in the Irish Channel called Parasols. That my mom and her brothers and sisters grew up a half a block away from Parasols. So that'll give you, for those that know the New Orleans Irish Channel, a share of where it is. At any rate, so going back, my family always celebrated in the Irish Channel of New Orleans. There's a parade. It's New Orleans, of course. There's a parade, and always just a big day out on the street and people gathering. And so, but my Uncle Dick, my Uncle John would gather a lot of the guys from the old neighborhood and up at Commander's. It's only a couple blocks away, right? 5-6 blocks away.
Commander's Palace,
right? And they would have a big lunch, and of course, Irish whiskey and Irish coffees and Irish, whatever they could get their hands on. But they're having a big corned beef and cabbage, of course,
and I
which
forgot about that.
We'll have here in a second. But so they always at the end of lunch take a walk over to the old neighborhood, and they walk over to Parasol's bar. They would go to the house that they grew up in, literally a block away, and stand out in the street and drink, and everybody's having a good time. Okay. So my uncle is with literally the best man in his wedding, Dick Brennan, and with the best man in his wedding. And it was a wonderful guy. They played basketball together, basketball together at Tulane. At any rate, and and he sadly became blind in an automobile accident. And as a young man, so he was with him. So they were, there with the drunk crowd in front of parasols.
Yeah.
And they say, all right, time to walk back, because my Uncle Dick lived on 3rd Street, just closer to St. Charles.
Mm-hmm.
So they're walking back to the house, and they just can't make it any further. It is literally my drunk uncle
drinking,
leading his blind friend who was also drunk.
Oh.
So he says, okay, Pat, I'm going to lean you here up against the lamppost. I'm going to make it the last 3 blocks, and I'll tell my wife, Lynn,
to come and get him.
Come pick him up and go get him. So my uncle, by the time my uncle makes it home, he's had so much of a cheer that he forgets he left his friend leaning against his blind friend leaning against the lamppost.
What time of day was this?
This was in the afternoon, like 4 o'clock.
Oh no!
He goes upstairs, falls asleep, takes it. Okay. His wife, my Aunt Lynn Brennan, happens to be driving down Magazine Street, coming back from the grocery or God knows somewhere, and sees here is Pat leaning against the lamppost, and he's been there for hours.
No, because what can he do? He can't.
No, where's he going? And so, so she puts him in the car and brings him back, and my uncle's just like,
poor thing.
I forgot.
Oh my God.
And they left his buddy stranded on a lamppost on Magazine and 3rd.
Stranded on a lamppost.
So anyway, yeah, it gets
that's Mardi Gras, Alex, right there.
St. Patrick's Day. That's a whole other Mardi Gras story.
All right, let's go back on over to the foodie cam. We're here at Brennan's with Alex Brennan-Martin. They're having an incredible St. Patrick's Day celebration now until Tuesday. What are we looking at, Alex?
This is corned beef and cabbage, right? And it is straight out of the old country, a little bit of a twist. When we do our corned beef, we add a little bit of crab boil, right? And add just a little bit of pepper, a little bit of heat. But the cabbage is braised, the potatoes are braised, carrots braised. It's all braised together. Ooh. Mom used to call it pot cooking, and it's all together in one pot. And it's just truly one of my favorite meals of the year.
I love how you continually, and we've been doing this for many years together, but I love, you're one of my favorite people to talk to because you talk about your mom so much.
Yeah.
And I talk about my mom a lot too. So speaking of that, there's a really beautiful picture behind me.
Yeah.
That everyone, when they come into the newly renovated Brennan's, will get a chance to see. So what is it behind me? Can you describe it while I eat?
Well, that really is our origin story. I mean, that is where we started. My grandfather and his eldest son, Owen Brennan, ended up in 1944 buying the Absent House Bar. It's still there. The old we don't own it. The old Absent House Bar, and so that's literally where we got started. My uncle was one of his jobs during World War II. He was providing for his family. He was a liquor salesman. He also had a little pharmacy and a gas station. Everybody had to do everything. At any rate, they bought that bar from the owner, and that's where we got started. And then the restaurant across the street on Bourbon Street became available. It was called the Vieux Carré restaurant. And they bought that a few years later. And that's where the original Brennan's Vieux Carré. And in that picture, there actually happens to be a streetcar named Desire. So that's sort of our origin right there. Yeah, it's our origin story, as I say.
How funny.
Yeah, that's
incredible. And I love how, as you make your way through, there's a few new rooms here, but there's so much of that origin story on the walls. I don't know who's responsible for getting all those photos up there.
All family photos that we gather together and just try to, share kind of what it was like growing up and how we kind of got to where we are.
It really
and everything beautiful. From around how we ended up with black and white floors. There's some great pictures from my aunt's home where I grew up.
So the black and white floors here, they're significant.
Yeah, to the house on 2nd Street, 2nd and Britannia, and it was also over the over courtyard area. Yeah. And it's just a little. There, lots of things are parts and parcel and come together and are important to our family.
It's St. Patrick's Day weekend. It's getting busy.
We're getting there.
We better wrap up. All right, let's go back on over to the foodie cam here at Brennan's. It is busy weekend. They are celebrating St. Patrick's Day with an incredible celebration. This is an item on the Luck of the Irish special for $39. You get to choose 3 items. What are we looking at, Alex?
This is fish and chips, right? I mean, come on. It is. Let's keep it simple, folks. It is just from the old country. The Irish, we weren't known for great food. We were known for a lot of food, right?
Well, I mean, it's good food.
And there's potatoes on everything, right? And so, you go with what you got. But no, and this is just a great tempura style batter, and it is just it's classic. It's delicious, and it what can you say? Don't screw up the fries, and don't overcook the fish, right?
Well, and it's what I love though is it is approachable, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you can bring the kids, you can bring the grandparents.
It's great drinking food.
Or it's great drinking food. I start talking about kids, and Alex is like, "Oh, let's start drinking."
Well, we gotta.
That's Mardi Gras, Alex.
St. Patrick's Day, Alex. It's a totally different deal. But yeah, no, just a simple tartar sauce, just a large
giant fries.
Giant fries.
These are giant.
Yeah, they are. Very good. Yeah, very.
All right,
very
let's
good.
talk about this drink here, because this is another drink that you will see a lot of here at Brennan's this weekend.
Yeah, and throughout the year. So this is our version of Irish coffee. So as I said, we grew up. My parents are mom and her brothers and sisters grew up in the Irish Channel, so we call this our Irish Channel coffee. And it's frozen. We make it with our soft serve. Yes. We make it with our soft serve ice cream here. And so what makes it Irish Channel is Jameson Irish whiskey, and what makes it New Orleans is a little bit of chicory liqueur. And so when you taste it, it really sort of has kind of everything going on. There's some bars in New Orleans in the French Quarter that are known for their frozen Irish coffees. Aaron Rose, Molly's at the Market. There are a few others in the Quarter, and it's just really sort of become a sort of an underground thing in New Orleans. And this is just our tip of the hat to it. And who the hell doesn't like it? Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah. That'll wake you up.
Oh,
that'll wake you up. And a little.
Oh,
little ground coffee up top. Yeah. But you taste the chicory, you taste the Jameson.
But can I have this? You can have this throughout your meal, or is this mostly an after dinner or after lunch?
If you're willing to leave me money for it, you can have it whenever you want. That's what we do.
This is great. And then the top has the little chocolate.
No, that's coffee. It's ground coffee.
Oh, you guys, I'm thinking this is like shaved chocolate on here.
Ground coffee.
That's so smart.
Yeah.
Ooh.
New Orleans was in as well as fruit importer and whatnot, but we were a coffee importer. Growing up, the smell of the coffee roasting in the community coffee plant, which wasn't too far from where I grew up.
Yeah.
It was an everyday thing.
That's home for you. So does the smell of coffee, like when you go back in the kitchen in the morning when they're making all the coffee, does it kind of, it brings you home?
It does, but there's nothing like, when a whole plant is, roasting.
Right there. That's a different coffee smell. Yeah. All right. Now you're making me want to go to New Orleans just to smell the coffee plant.
Sadly, they don't. It's not in the part of what is now the warehouse district. No, it's not there anymore.
Back on over to the foodie cam to take a look at another one of the dishes being offered here at Brennan's of Houston during their St. Patrick's Day celebration, running now until Tuesday. Let's go, baby, because you have a whole Tuesday thing too.
We'll go all the way through. We'll go all the way through St. Patrick's Day. Yeah.
So what are we looking at here?
Some people will have green beer. We're going to have green cheesecake.
Yes, sir, you are.
And Carl and his team, and he's sort of got a little what he calls leprechaun trash on top. A little
leprechaun trash. That's the name for a restaurant.
It even has a little Lucky Charms and a little white chocolate, and it pulled together, and it's just it's green.
Let's and you mentioned Chef Carl and Chef Jose. Let's talk about them a little bit. Give them a little bit of a shout out, because talk about iconic individuals here in Houston. There's not that many restaurants that can say they've had the same guys in the back for as long as y'all have here, and they're part of the reason that these fun things get created, right?
Exactly right. Jose Arevalo is been here at Brennan's longer than I have. Got here a few years before I did, and came from Honduras. And we were the second job he's ever had. And he had a job, and he came here as a warewasher, and just was one of those guys, started peeling vegetables and just started learning over the years. I like to say Jose comes from the Creole part of Honduras.
Yeah.
So at any rate, he's
got it
I'm saying Honduras, El Salvador. I'm sorry, El Salvador.
The Creole part of El Salvador.
El Salvador.
Yes.
And at any rate, so literally he's been here at the restaurant and since the beginning, and worked with all the great chefs that we've had, going back to Paul Prudhomme and before. So he's had incredible exposure over the years. And because
you've had some pretty famous chefs come through here, even if you want to shout a few of those out. We have.
Well, I got, Mark Cox and I were together for several years.
He's known me since I was a little kid.
Since we were pups. And then, we've had the Mark Hollies of the world. And Mark's been with us here a couple times. Was at Commanders for several years. Back and forth. Randy Evans, Chris Shepard. I'm leaving dozens out. But so we've been very. But Carl came. Carl was at Commanders. Actually, I interviewed Carl. He was working at the Woodlands here, and I interviewed him. My family was opening Mr. B's, and one thing led to another. And interviewed him here. He ended up at Mr. B's for a number of years. Up to Commanders, and then I had the opportunity for Chef's Opening, and he came here. Carl was sous chef at Commanders when Emerald was chef. Wow. And I like to say
Emerald Lagasse, the real Emerald.
Carl was the guy doing the cooking while Emerald was out doing the Emerald stuff.
My gosh, y'all!
But
that's
huge. So they've been together, and as a matter of fact, Carl and Jose are heading back to Jose's home here in just a few weeks for a vacation and a visit. Fun.
And I like to mention them because I don't know if everybody knows all that star power over here back in that kitchen. And I remember even when Emerald came through town, because my mom interviewed him and would do all, and so I remember all these fun experiences with these famous chefs.
It is. My mom used to jokingly say, I don't know when these cooks became celebrities. It was really kind of funny. So
I know it really was a shift, right? They kind of got out of the kitchen and in front of the TV screen.
No doubt.
And then there was a little bit of a shift in restaurant culture.
No doubt. I think the chef as restaurateur, really became something sort of in the 80s. Really began, but it really wasn't before.
It wasn't before, but with the advent of TV and Food Network and Fox 26 in Houston starting early, talking about the OGs putting food and restaurants on TV with Cleverly Stone, you come right back to Houston.
Exactly right.
And you've got a nice grassroots program. All right, so Tuesday is the last day.
You
can get this menu, St. Patrick's Day. Then this menu is gone, but $39, y'all. So would you like people to make reservations?
Always helpful if you can, but certainly pop in and space available at the bar. We keep a lot of seats available.
And who do you do reservations through? Is it your website or
our website primarily? We're on Open Table. We're on Resi as well.
Yeah. Open Table, Resi, and through the website, or you can call the restaurant too.
There's an amazing thing. I'm almost certain you've heard of it. It's called a telephone.
Well, some restaurants don't pick up the phone anymore. You guys are the weird ones.
We're stubborn. We stubbornly continue to answer the telephone.
Well, but it's a good reminder because sometimes diners will see online that there are no seats available.
Correct.
But you can actually call Brennan's if you really do want to get in. So, and it's a great way to try multiple dishes. So you're not just getting one dish, you have a bunch of things. So if you've got a group, you can all do it. And it's almost like a big family style.
You can order from the bar menu and order from that menu, mix and match, and that makes it kind of fun.
Amazing. All right. Any fun things coming up this spring that you want to give a shout out?
Well, we're looking ahead already to Restaurant Week.
Yes.
So, that is a we just had our on March 5th. We just had our 59th anniversary. So that's
my goodness! Congratulations! So next year's the big 60.
60, right?
So that's going to be a whole year of celebration, right?
I was 8 years old when this restaurant opened. So goodness. Still in short pants.
Such an incredible legacy, and just huge honor to know you and everything that you're doing here.
It's our pleasure.
At Brennan's of Houston. All right, you guys, if you haven't been to Brennan's of Houston, this is a wonderful time to try it, even if you're not Irish. You don't have to be Irish. You don't have to wear green. Come in here, get some yummy food, see the guys, here at Brennan's of Houston. Make sure you stay tuned to Fox 26 and Fox Local for all Foodies and Friends episodes. We will see you all another time on another episode.